welcome to my cactus live stream. Cactus care. I forgot to bring the cactus soil, so give me a second. I will be back in very short time. I just need to get the soil, okay? Give me a second. Okay. All right, I'm back. I just brought a little bit of soil here, a little bit of cactus soil that we can use later to single out maybe a container full of seedlings. So welcome to my cactus live stream, talking cactus care, sowing out. I have many little cactus seedlings here that we will discuss today again. I'm always happy to take questions. And yeah, if not, I will just go through. Hey, good morning. Great to see you. Yeah, I brought soil. I had forgotten to bring the soil, but now I have it. And yeah, welcome to my live stream, guys. Great to see you. Yeah, today we will water a little bit. I have a container that's full where we can maybe single them out. Think this should go into a separate pot now, maybe splitting it up over 2 or 3. And yeah, I brought that. So let me get started. Let me get my tweezers that I have here. Okay. So yeah, and I'm just going through. Always happy to have a chat about something else. If not, we are just discussing the seedlings. Yeah. Okay, so these here, 3 months old now. Let me see the label. Uwe Kahle seedlings, but from a cross between Zizala and Bamboy. This is really good. Both parents are great. If the offspring is, I don't know, similar to both parents, no matter in which direction it goes, it could be great. So looking forward to these. For now, they look okay. I had repotted them in sowing soil, and now I really let the soil dry out in between watering. I find that makes a big difference in regards to keeping the roots healthy. I will water it now again. It's been dry since yesterday maybe, and that's okay. So yeah, welcome to my live stream, guys. This is a cactus live stream. We have grown different cactus seedlings on the live stream. Yeah, and we are discussing them. Brought a lot of them, and we will go through one by one. Later today we will transplant a bunch from this full container. Just classic cactus gardening lifestyle. Okay, yeah, these need water a little bit, just making sure that they don't start to dehydrate. There's a little seedling in there that might give in first, that doesn't have a lot of reserves. So I try to give them water once a day now in this container. We are at a point where I really try to have a look at the soil and make a decision every time for every container, every time different. You know, some seedlings don't need water, some do need it. Okay, check these out. These are pretty interesting because you can see 2 different types of growth. Yeah, maybe some of them monstrose or crested, some sort of a mutation. And for now they look good, a little bit dehydrated, so they get a fair amount of water now. And then they get back under the lamp. Just a classic plant lamp will do. Just make sure it's not too strong. These little seedlings don't take much. Okay. These are a little smaller, also a little bit more dehydrated. One thing that I always say with these, they are too deep in the pot. It would make things easier if the pot had been filled with soil. because now they are already a little bit deeper, a little bit disadvantaged, getting a little bit less light. So yeah, gotta make sure that this soil always dries out in between. Okay. And I'm always happy to take questions if you're running into issues growing cacti, sowing out. Got a lot of stuff that we will discuss today. Okay, so these here I wanted to show you. These have been singled out, brought from an older soil, old pot, and they look okay for now. They need water again. This is pretty dry. If you touch it, this feels firm like rock, so this needs quite a lot of water to get a little bit more flexible again. The little cactus seedlings have tiny roots, and if the soil is too hard, they will grow slower. They will have an issue getting their root into that thing. It will take twice as long, maybe. Okay. So yeah, for now, this is okay. This will go back under the lamp. These here, also a little bit too deep. Dry soil. And now I'm spraying again. I really try to let that soil dry out completely to get rid of fungus gnat larvae. There are little pests that can really damage the seedlings. I try to have a mix between watering them and letting the soil dry out. Both is important. They need regular watering, but then after that, it's good when the soil dries out once. Okay, same here. A little bit too deep, and water is absolutely necessary here. Depending on where they are, like under the lamp, if the plant lamp is too strong, you might have to water them more often. And if that's not possible, maybe move them away from the light. Sometimes you have seedlings that don't do well, and you need to see it. You need to see it early when they get smaller and smaller. Hey, what's going on? Welcome to the live stream. Thank you for your comments. I'm not sure what you mean, so let me know. If not, I'm just moving on to water the seedlings. Okay. Yeah, these here also water. Apart from that, they are okay. A little bit too deep, but yeah, they will grow. We will make sure that they will grow. Water is one of the main things that you need to provide in the beginning, in the first 3 months or so. Knowing when to water and knowing when not to water, it's really important. So yeah, this one seedling here, I don't like how longish it's lying around on the soil. I try to get that up, lift it up, and maybe I can pot it a little deeper, just to keep it away from the soil. I don't like when the seedling is already lying on the soil. That's just bad news. At some point, it will start to rot. They're not made to lie. There's some cacti that grow like hanging basket plants later on, hanging down and stuff like that. But these here should be pretty upright and not in the dirt. Okay, next one. These have been not doing so well, so I singled them out. This is just one seedling per container. Like from container, one seedling that came out of one container and nothing else, just that one seedling. So yeah, we'll see how they will do in this new soil. In the old one, they clearly didn't thrive. I want to water this, and then I will maybe put another seedling into this pot, because there's still a lot of space in this pot for those two seedlings that are in it. So maybe we can save a little container here and there by putting another one in it. Let me see. I brought one where I only saw one seedling. Okay, this one. Yeah, check it out. That one seedling on the upper right, nothing else. So we will take that one out. It already has very limited chances. I don't see a healthy future ahead of that thing. So it can get its chance, but in a smaller pot. And the seedling doesn't look good. The closer I look at it, the more I think it's already done for. Not having a healthy skin color. What was that? Oh yeah, this was Echinopsis subdenudata. Interesting hybrid. But yeah, unfortunately, this seedling here doesn't look like it's going to make it. Thank you. I appreciate it. Thank you. Yeah, we would see. I will try to put another one into the fourth corner of the pot, just to save a little space. But just looking at this seedling here, it's so sick that I think I take it out. This is a waste of time. Sometimes you need to know when you waste your time, and that's the case here. So this will come out. Unfortunately, no healthy seedling from those seeds, and there were only 10 or so. Not that many. Unfortunately, sometimes you have that. Okay, these I wanted to water. These are from like in a takeaway container. A lot of people use food takeaway containers for sowing out, and they're usable. You can do it. They're not perfect, as you can see here. Like you have a lot of issues with the soil because the container's so flexible, but it can be done. So for now, they are growing. I need a little bit of water now, and maybe I might have to move a seedling here and there because I look at the way they are falling down the crack here. I might clean that up a little. Maybe move the seedlings more towards the center. But yeah, apart from that, they are growing. The seedlings in the square pots look better, but that's it. Okay, so this comes out. This is a 6 seedling. We have way too many anyway, so we can sort out a little now. It will take immense space to grow them all. So here's one that I want to take out. This is a whitish seedling that's completely milky already. Here's a health seedling, also not good. So I want to spray it again to get the soil a little bit more flexible. It just keeps the soil shapeable. You can really move the seedling into it, push it downwards, and it will go into the soil. I like that. And this is something that you can do better in the takeaway containers. Okay. Yeah, some of the seedlings look like they might give in eventually. Maybe with variegation issues. Variegation happens very often with hybrids, with certain types of hybrids. Not all, but some. So now I try to fix the seedlings, like to fix the position, to move them, to give them a better advantage. They need to have a fixed contact with the soil, that they can take in the water, that they can take in the nutrients. And if something doesn't have a root, I usually take it out. That is just a waste of time, and not only time, but you also have seedlings that can start to rot in there if they are just not healthy. At some point they will give in, and you really need to do that very often, just looking at seedlings and deciding which ones you will keep. If you are growing a botanical plant, like if every seedling is potentially the same, then you can just pick the healthiest ones. If you're working with hybrids where you have a much bigger range, like different flower colors from the same cross, then you can't really do that. Then because you can't see if a seedling has a great flower or not, just if it's weak, or like a seedling can be weak, but it can have the most beautiful flower that you would ever see. So sometimes it can pay off to give the weak seedlings chances, to wait for them. It's just a gut decision that you have to make. Very often I really look at the seedlings, and if they are not looking healthy, then I take them out and go with other ones. There's so many seedlings when you're a cactus breeder, you always have seedlings every year. So why not pick the healthy ones? Okay, yeah. In this container, we will have to do a lot more work, I believe. Some of them just don't look healthy. This was either genetically caused or maybe fungus gnat related, where they have been in the soil damaging the tiny roots that they have. At this point, I already brought it out of humidity to let the soil dry out, because that's a good way to get rid of any potential pests in the soil. Mealybug can survive drying out, but if you have mealybug inside, then you really have to get active. They are very bad pest to have, and yeah. But most of the dangerous pests for the little seedlings, you can get rid of by just letting the soil dry out every now and then. Okay, this will get water now, though. You can see how dry it is. That you have that mineral deposit layer. So yeah, needs water again. But I gotta be careful here. These already look very sick. Like, this is the type of seedling. I brought these out early for a reason, because they weren't doing so well. So I'm trying to find that middle ground in between watering enough for the seedlings, but not so much that the fungus gnats can thrive. Okay. So next one, I transplanted these, and they need more water. They're really barely visible right now, but they've been doing better since last time. They were really stressed. These were seedlings that where I felt like we might lose some. So I'm pretty happy to see that they are growing, that they have spines. They have tiny spines, but they have spines. So I will water them fair amount, because I want that soil to become a little bit more flexible again. I don't think that I have to do something here, but I want to look, maybe correct one or two seedlings just a little bit. I always try to give the seedlings a straight connection in the soil, straight standing in the soil, because that's just a little advantage for them. There's so much different risk factors around them. You can bring in contaminants with the water, with the soil. So having them upright already moves them away from that a little bit. So yeah, apart from that, oops, nothing to do here. Just watering, then letting the soil dry out again. Yeah. So here, these need water. This is just very young. This is the first stage of cactus seedlings, just within the first 3 weeks or so, where they are just coming up. And in this phase, it's really dangerous to remove the lid. Usually with this kind of size, they would still be in humidity with a cover on it. But again, it's a good way to get rid of pests, to let the soil dry out. So I brought them out to do that. And yeah, now it's time. You got to be really careful to not forget them when they are this small. Yeah, and it was overdue. This morning when I collected the plants for the live stream, this was one of the ones where I saw, okay, I have to bring it with me, because otherwise it would get dangerous for the seedling. For the seedlings in that thing. Okay, here's another one. Barely visible. But they are looking okay. You can see. They don't really have to look perfect at this age. It's enough that they survive. So for now, they will just get a little water. There's a seedling back there that I want to lift up again. That is lying on the soil. Maybe from when I was handling that thing. It is really easy to kind of change the soil when you're pressing too hard on the outside of this thing. So yeah, I will bring that seedling back up. Otherwise, I believe it would have no chance. it would be an unnecessary loss. Okay. Yeah, apart from that, they look okay. You might not see it in the live stream, but it's okay. They are growing, they have spines, they are a little bit they have a discoloration as a reaction to the lamp, indicating that they would love to have more water, and I'm giving it to them. Okay. These need water. Yeah, nice seedlings. I like them. I like that in this one there are also these unusual kind of seedlings that are smaller. Maybe crested, maybe monstrose. You always have mutations when you're sowing out. Not in every cross or in every container, but sometimes you have, like, all of the seedlings are weird. Okay. Yeah, and this will dry out now. I really try to let this soil dry out in between. They look great, and I want them to continue to look like that. They are big enough to take a little bit of drying out in between. So yeah, that's great for me. If you water these maybe every 2 days, now this is already the size. Unless they lose excessive amounts of water, watering them every 2 days might already be enough. I always look at the soil and then I decide what to do. You just know that in order to completely dry out, the soil has to look in a certain way. And yeah, if it's not there yet, sometimes I decide to wait another day. In this case here, I want to water them because the seedlings are tiny. See there. They are not big. You can still lose them if you forget to water them. So these will get water probably once or twice a day, depending on how the soil looks. Right now, I'm really getting to the point where I want to treat them separately depending on just how dry or wet the soil is. Okay. Yeah, these three, not really growing fast. They've already been a little older. They should be much bigger than the size they have now. Angelo, Echinopsis lobivia hybrid by Sonja Scheitinger. And this is a hybrid cross with it that I did before losing my mother plant. So I just hope that maybe this will be, one of them will come out and look similar to the mother, similar to Angelo. That would be great. I paid $100 for that plant 6-7 years ago. And it hurts when you lose a good plant. Okay, yeah, this is all right. We'll see if this dries within the day. It depends on where I put it. If I put it straight below the lamp, I might have to water it again today. If I put it somewhere a little bit more in the shade, it might last a little longer. Might last another day. Okay, so these here have that look where they need water, where you can, like, sometimes you are unsure if seedlings need more or less water, and in this case I asked myself that question and I instantly recognized the pattern that they need more. Like when you start spraying seedlings that look a little bit dehydrated, shrimpled up, I don't know how you call it, but you can see it in the seedling. They visibly lose water, and yeah, that's usually a good sign that you need to water them, need to spray them a few more times a day. Because if I only water them once now and put them back and nothing happens, then they will never really be able to pick that up again, like the time that they lost where they have been dehydrating continuously. So yeah, today I will try to water these a few more times. Okay, these I wanted to show you. This is one of the containers that had almost just exclusively variegation. You can still see the yellowish, whitish seedlings in center. and the 2 or 3 green ones. Yeah, and for now, the green ones are the only ones that are growing, that are really healthily growing. So yeah, for now, I will continue to spray them, but I wouldn't really expect that the white seedlings will go anywhere. They do not give me the impression that they will continue to grow. And at some point, you just have to accept that. I'm not here to when there are certain seedlings, certain plants that are just not healthy. And of course, you can always prolong that. You can try to graft them, and sometimes it's even worth it. But very often, it's just a waste of time to keep like an unhealthy plant around unnecessarily. So yeah, I will correct the seedlings a little bit just in case one of them is maybe able to is maybe some sort of a health variegated seedlings where they can still develop some sort of chlorophyll. But yeah, that's it. If they don't make it, they don't make it. That's okay. I just don't have endless space. And if seedlings are thinning themselves out already like this, then you gotta accept that. At least that's my opinion. So these will go back under the lamp. I'm not doing much with the variegated seedlings. You could now, you could put them back into the bag, and that might give those seedlings in center a little bit more chances to survive long term. But again, this is 3 months of growth. At this point, they should have already been twice as big, and I don't really expect them to do anything. We will see. If they can survive like this outside of the bag, then they are good. Then I will keep them. But I wouldn't bet on it. Okay. This was a test, germination test that succeeded. A lot of seedlings here, and the soil has been pretty dry. So I just want to water them. Nothing to do here really. There are a bunch of seedlings that are not perfectly in the soil, but for now it's okay. They don't look bad. So just a little bit of water here. And then this will come back at the lamp. So later, when we have a lot of seedlings like this, we will graft on them. But for now, the seedlings are just not big enough. We could graft on something like this that has this size, but it's really the lower limit, because you need to, you are actually grafting to make use of the bigger root system that the graft had, like the grafting stock can pump into the scion. And if you only have a grafting stock that's this big, I find it kind of misses the point of grafting. So we're waiting a little longer. Yeah, these need water. That's all. Not looking bad. For now, this is okay. Takeaway tag. In this case, it goes right. Food takeaway containers can be used to grow cactus seedlings. Yeah, they're not perfect, but sometimes it's just good to have something to get a start. It's something that you can use to experiment, to sow out. I use, like when I got my start as a cactus grower, I used this kind of stuff. Today I wouldn't do it anymore because the square pots are just better, more useful, because they already have the drainage holes and they're a little firmer, like a little bit more resistant against breaking. If you put these outside, they will instantly start to break apart because they are not made to withstand UV light. And yeah, that's why I wouldn't use it anymore. But for the beginning, this will work. This will be great. Okay, so this gets water and nothing else. Maybe fertilizer in 2 weeks again. I don't want to overdo it in the beginning. They don't need that much. Same here. This is one where I try to let the soil dry out, and this is the point where they need water again. Then you might be able to stretch it out a little longer, but this is really at the at the limit. Okay. Yeah, and later they will get a little bit more water if the soil dries out. We will see. With seedlings that are this small, you always have to keep in mind that something could eat them. And if you give that something humidity, then it can use the soil to propagate, to kind of go crazy on the seedlings. And I really try to avoid that. Okay. These can come out. This is still in humidity. I feel like we might be able to take it out. But the good thing about the takeaway containers is that you can staple them. That is really one of the big advantage that I saw at the time. You know, if you have these, you can put them like this in front of a heater, for example, or in front of a window, or in front of a lamp, so they all get light here. Only thing you need to be careful, like if you have a lamp above, of course they will only get limited amount of light from the top. But yeah, that's not bad. At some point that thing will fall over, like once it gets maybe higher than this, taller than this. But you could staple them, and it saves some space. When you're growing a lot of different things, that can be good. Okay, yeah. We'll take them out, I think. The only reason I would consider leaving the lid on the container is to just staple them, to save that little bit of space. That's why I wanted to show you that. But yeah, they are big enough. Maybe we have space somewhere for that thing. Let me see what it is. Yeah, this is a columnar cactus as mother and a flower hybrid as father. Interesting kind of thing. Interesting cross. We will see how it come out. Okay, these are pretty similar in size, but I think I will leave those inside a little longer. There are a few variegated seedlings in between, where I personally feel like they might not stand a chance. But I'm not entirely sure if they are really fully variegated or maybe just halfway. If they were halfway variegated, I might be able to grow them. If it survives continuously long term, then it must be able to somehow produce chlorophyll. So I want to give them a little longer. Want to give them a chance to survive. We'll spray them now, just to simulate a little bit of rainfall. Yeah, and then it will go back into the container. This is great. Yeah, this is also one of the test containers that I sowed out for doing a germination test. Yeah, and it succeeded. It was okay. Next one. I had these under the lamp, and I tried to induce germination. Like sometimes when you put seedlings in a closed container, like with the lid, like this, you need enough humidity. The top layer of the soil can't be completely dry, and when you put that somewhere close to a lamp, not directly that it gets too hot, but somewhere where the light can just reach the seeds that are still in there and the seedlings, and they will eventually start to grow a little faster. The light makes them really grow towards it. And yeah, in this case, I tried to put it somewhere close to the lamp to get a few more seedlings. I saw that we had 1 or 2 germinations in the container, and I felt like if that gets additional light, we might be able to tickle out a few more. And yeah, for now it looks okay. But it would be hard to say if these will survive. Like long term, they don't look particularly healthy. I'm not really seeing that great health here. So for now, I will spray them. 1 or 2 of the seedlings are also variegated. I can see it. So they might be on borrowed time. They might not even make it. Yeah, this comes back into humidity for now because the seedlings are just too small. Nothing we can do here. We could fertilize, but for now they are not growing even. You know, there was also fertilizer here in the soil. I'm just worried if we would fertilize, we might not really gain anything from it and bring in. We might be feeding the weeds that are also competing with the seedlings. Okay, so this one here, this is another one that I put close to the lamp, and there are many germinations, but they don't really look like healthy seedlings to me. So this is one of the containers. I would try to keep this very way up, right at the top, close to the lamp, and I just hope that that will eventually give these little seedlings a little bit of light, a little bit of life, because they have come up, and for now I'm not sure if they will even survive long term. They're a little bit too small. This is from Pink Stripes, and the seedlings are usually not that small. So yeah, this needs good care. This needs a good spot now. Can't be too cold. Needs a bright spot, sunny spot, and then maybe we have a chance. And obviously, with the size that these have, you couldn't take them out of this thing. Like, you couldn't remove the lid and just leave them in normal humidity, normal room humidity. You wouldn't be able to do that. So this comes back up, really way up at the lamp. Yeah, and these don't look good either. Let me see what's on the label. I want to see if this is a genetic thing. Yeah, this is Amun-Re. Amun-Re, yeah, cool hybrid. One of the best. I can only repeat myself about that. But genetically, sometimes you have these sickly looking seedlings. That doesn't matter. I want to try to give them a chance. The flower is just so amazing that it's worth to give it time. Maybe we can save one or two of them. That would be great. Would already be enough. So what I will do is I will move that seedling. Check it out. Here's a seedling. There you can see it, that has germinated right here in the crack. And I don't like that because it will eventually fall down, and then it will be a sad looking seedling down there. So I moved that one to the center, trying to cover the little root with soil. Yeah, apart from that, here's a seedling that I'm lifting up again, but the fact that it's already down isn't really a good sign. So here's one that I correct. Always making sure that the seedling has connection to the soil and is straight in the soil. Due to the fact that they are so deep, you have to plant them deeper in these takeaway containers, because otherwise you would get in touch with the lid. Like, once you put up the lid and there's not enough distance between the lid and the seedlings, then that would really bother the seedlings. So you have to plant them deep, and that leads to seedlings being way, way down, not really getting as much light as they would get like this. Another problem with the takeaway containers. Okay, yeah, I moved a few seedlings here and there, just trying to give them a good, solid connection. And for now, this is okay. I will close this up again. Not seeing really that great growth, superb health, but with Amun-Re, with a hybrid of that kind of quality, you have to try to save every seedling. Okay. Next one. Yeah, this is another one of those containers where I put 1 week seedling into each corner. I have one corner where I could put one in. So maybe let's bring this one out of humidity. This one's big enough. Check it out. This is a size that can already come out, maybe withstand the normal temperature under the lamp. I try to repot seedlings relatively often. I'm not worried about, I don't know, causing damage. I mean, it can happen, can always happen. But if you think like that, if you always have that in your mind, then you usually make a mistake and damage them anyway. Okay. Long term, it makes sense to repot them often. Okay. And here's a little one that I put in center. I don't think this one has a chance, but I don't want to throw it away. I want to give it a chance. I'm spraying it now. Just a little bit of natural rain. It also makes the soil settle down. That is a good thing. Yeah, and this label comes in center. Okay. And yeah, these are 5 different seedlings that I got from 5 different containers where I only had one weak looking seedling each. And now I have saved a little bit of space. This comes under the lamp at that size. I really want it to get maximum light. And I will try to water as often as I can to make sure they are not dehydrating in that time. Okay. Yeah, this can go away. This is empty now. Ooh, there was a mold. Check it out. So this goes straight into the trash. Sometimes you have mold, you know? Like in this case, there was a seedling in there and some sort of a weed. And I felt like maybe I'm giving that thing humidity so it recovers. And unfortunately, it didn't. So now that goes straight into the trash. And let's see what this is. Yeah, these are the Amon-Re seedlings from earlier. Okay, I would say we can transplant a few seedlings now. I have this overly full container, and we could do something here. That would be good. Single out, and it's actually not really singling out, but we are spreading them up over 2 or 3 containers, just so we can, so the seedlings have a little bit more space. I brought sowing soil, yeah, and I will fill it up here. Few containers that I cleaned earlier. Always making sure that I'm not bringing any kind of pest inside the house. That is really important. You do not want to bring in mealybug or something like that. It can instantly be a huge problem to deal with on seedlings because you can't really spray them with the harshest of stuff. They're very, very fragile. Sometimes using a pesticide, using something like alcohol, can really damage them. Hey, I was born in Saarland, Germany. I'm a born Saarlander, but I'm not really doing anything in German. I've been like when I got started with the cactus growing, with the plants. At the time, you just had to learn English to talk to people. Like Facebook didn't really exist at that time, and I just had to learn English to talk to my Australian, American friends everywhere. You know, English was just a good way to stay in touch with everyone. So yeah, this is and yeah, now today everything, like when you write something on Facebook, it can automatically translate it. At the time, that wasn't the case. Yeah, great to see you in the live stream. Thank you. Okay, yeah, let's transplant a little. I think we need, for those, we need at least 2 or 3. Yeah, and the soil, sowing soil, classic, standard kind of sowing soil that you get in every garden store. I'm sure there's some that is barely usable. You just have to look what you get locally and experiment. The last soil that we got was full of fungus gnat larvae. So make sure that whatever you get, it comes without that kind of stuff. You can, of course, you can like pasteurize the soil, but it means a lot of work every time when you're sowing out. Okay. So I would spray these now, just so I can take them apart without breaking off the little root. Here's a seedling that didn't make it. That comes out, and I wanna use that as a chance to say that the seedling that I just took out probably expired because of lack of space. At some point, you lose the ones that are here on the outer areas. You lose some in between that are dehydrating because the water doesn't get to them. Here you can see the dehydration, like on these seedlings here, and these are looking healthier here, and that's why it's a good idea to at some point take them apart if you have too many. Okay, so let's just take them out here. So I'm carefully taking them apart, but without injuring the little root sections that they have. They are really fragile. I would love to only spread them over 2 containers, but there are just so many seedlings that we might have to do 3. These are so grown so firmly together that it's hard to take them apart. I will leave them as one. Sometimes you have seedlings that when you pull too hard, you have the root in your hand, and I don't want that. Okay. By the way, a little piece of wood here, and that makes it really hard to sometimes keep it away from the root section. Once you take away the root, the piece of wood, it can take the root straight off, just because it grows into the wood. Okay, so this is enough. I would just distribute them evenly, somewhat evenly between the containers. I'm not really caring about having an equal number of seedlings in every pot. I don't care about that, but I just try to, it must make sense. So let me see what these are. Probably Uvekale. Yep, Uvekale seedlings from Zizala crossed with Kazoa. I'm not sure what kind of a hybrid that is, but I will try to look it up. Okay. Eventually, we will probably have 3 containers here. And that will, within short time, require 30 containers eventually. I really need to find out how the parents look, so I know if how many I can keep or how many I should keep. It's really hard sometimes to predict, because these could all be amazing, could all have an amazing flower. Here's a seedling that I take out. This is rotten, so it's good that we took them apart. When you have seedlings that are so close together, you no longer see what's going on inside, and you can have a raging infection in there without even knowing it. Yeah, and this will go into sowing soil now, and it's coming from the first soil that I've used, and that was cemetery soil. Very blackish kind of soil, resistant to weeds, resistant to pests actually, but in my opinion, it had been a great home for the fungus gnats. Had caused a lot of problems, so now we're using something else inside. Okay. What's this? This is also not normal. Doesn't have a root. And here's a brown spot at the base. This kind of points towards fungus gnats. Okay, I think I got them all out now. So I would start spraying them. I want to have the soil in the new container a little bit more flexible than it is when it's dry. Also, I need visibility. I want to see what I do. The little root's so tiny, and I need to see exactly where it ends. It's a good thing that we've been separating them. This will help to let the soil dry out like evenly. When you have seedlings like this, where you have one container, it is so hard to water them the way you should. You cannot really tell how much water the soil needs, because you barely see it from all the seedlings. And then that can lead to stuff like fungus gnat infestations exploding, because you kind of water the way you would water other seedlings, and that can be completely off. Okay. Yeah, this big group of seedlings here, that's not really perfect to have so many at once together, but it's hard to separate them sometimes. I rather not separate some, leave them together, then they are a little bit crooked in the soil, but they still have the root. Eventually you can correct them a little bit more, but if you break off the root, then that's usually it. Okay. Yeah, but having too many seedlings at once, it instantly creates problems. Usually because every seedling falls into a different direction, and that makes it very hard to perfectly align them in a way that keeps them healthy. Here's a seedling that I want to take out. Looks like expired. I didn't even see that originally. Some of the seedlings, the smaller seedlings, they are so dehydrated that, yeah, they have kind of shriveled together and are now just skin and a few spines. Okay. And I want to spray them again just to have more visibility. Okay, so this looks a little bit chaotic. We could, just for an even sake, maybe fill up 1 or 2 here. It bothers me. It looks too empty. So I'll put one in here. Okay, and another one over here. And that's good. Okay, now the next one. We'll see. Maybe we can get them into 2 containers. We will have to repot them eventually anyway, very soon. So this needs water again. Always when I have the seedlings on top of the soil, I spray them, and then I look for the spot where to put them. Okay, here's a seedling that I want to take out because it has an unhealthy root. This was good that we took them apart. Very often you have that, like these issues going on, and you don't see it. Everything looks good. The seedlings look good on the outside, but if you do not see the roots, you might only have the top might still be there, but everything below might be rotten. Okay. Yeah, and there are a few seedlings here and there where I believe that they will probably not make it, but I will not sort them out yet. I like to give chances. Sometimes you can save them. The people who, the more experience you get, the more you're willing to experiment and to try to save something. Okay, this comes out. This is just an unhealthy seedling. Don't need to keep them all. it has to make sense. Okay. Okay. Yeah, I will try to fit the seedlings that I have in the other container. I will try to fit them in. Maybe we can get them all in without having to use the whole container. That would be good. I don't have so much space. We need to be a little bit conservative with the space. So eventually I will have to correct everything again. I'm just placing them roughly at the spot where I want to have them. And then I would spray it again. And then I try to get everything done. When I now have them all in the soil, then I will put this thing back under the lamp. And over the day, things will settle down. So you might have to, you might still have to correct. You might still have to fix seedlings here and there. Maybe in a few days you will see that some of them didn't make it. That's okay. That is good. You can't save them all. A little bit of Ivan Drago school of thought. If they make it, they make it. And if not, there's so many, you know, we have so many seedlings. All right, I need a second label here for the second pot now. Okay, so this is KA 2024 Uwe Karle 30 Zizala crossed with Kazoa. I know Zizala, but I do not know the father here. We will see. But Zizala is pretty good. In my opinion, this is a good cross. Hey, Robert, welcome to the live stream. Great to have you. Thank you for joining. Yeah, I've been singling out again. I followed up on my promise to repot one of these each day, or to at least single them out until we have, like, until we run out of space at least. And for now, it's looking good. So these go back under the lamp. 2 more. Within short time, the requirement for space kind of doubled. But yeah, we'll see where it leads us. Probably to being cactus hoarders. Okay, this goes into the trash now. Or maybe I can reuse it in the garden outside. Something that doesn't require to work clean. Okay. These need water. Move this away. Every time after my live stream, I have to clean the desk. It's always like a mess. It's always like a swamp in my office. But yeah, it's just, that's the work. It's important, you know. You can't do it without making a mess here and there. So this needs water. They have gotten fertilizer. So the yellowish discoloration is probably genetic. For now, they look okay. But some of the smaller ones in between, they really they give me the impression that there's not a lot of room. I can't forget to water these quite a lot. Like, if I forget them twice too often, I will definitely lose some of the seedlings. So need to be a little bit more careful there. These here, yeah, also need water. So maybe today we will get to doing a few of the cactus seeds that I also have besides me. We will see. I will continue to water the seedlings now, and when I'm done, maybe we're doing a little bit of cactus seeds to end the live stream later. Okay, so these need water. Here's a little seedling that fell over. I want to fix that. It looks bad, like it doesn't have a chance, but I want to at least not push it over the edge myself. Yeah, and the others look okay. They can make it. For now, everything, like there's nothing in the seedlings that could do something to improve situation right now. They just need light. These need water. Oops. Yeah, I need water, and I need to plant the seedlings that have just rolled over. So let me just spray everything to get the soil a little bit more flexible, and then I will move the little seedlings. And eventually these might have to be repotted. This is still the first soil that I used, and they are not looking so perfect in it. Yeah, I consider repotting a lot of the seedlings that are still in the first soil. It's just, it wasn't perfect. It had a lot of problems, and the fungus gnats just love it. Hey, welcome to the live stream. Great to have you. Thank you for joining. Okay, yeah, water, I would say. Water, but it needs to dry out in between. I could see a fungus gnat flying up. Welcome to the Fungus Gnat channel, everyone. They are back. We are back. Apart from that, yeah, this needs to dry out again. Needs to dry out under the lamp. The seedlings are growing, and there are some that look like they are partially variegated. Yeah, and that is great. It will be interesting to see what we will grow long term from them. I'm sure there will be a few mutations, interesting seedlings, that kind of stuff. Yeah, it's also a case where we can already consider to single out. This is running out of space here. And by the way, same problem here. Here, where they are most crowded, there's seedlings that are dehydrated. You can barely see them because they have gotten smaller and smaller. That is why singling out, or by eventually giving them their own pot, is important. Otherwise, you would just run out of space, run out of nutrients, run out of something that they really need. Okay. Yeah, let's get started with a little bit of seed stuff that I brought here. Give me a second, and I will bring these up. So these are different types of cactus seeds on paper towel. A lot of Cerenzia, Echinopsis, Lobivia, and I want to clean some of them. At least I want to bring them into the bags. So I have this here, this little box that I use to always put the seeds on top. Usually when I dry seeds on a paper towel, this is after cleaning the cactus seeds in a sieve, after running the pulp through the sieve, and then you are left with a few seeds here and there, and that's what we have here. Okay. So I just want to have a look at these and see if there's any viable seeds in them. This was one where the seeds didn't look fully developed, and most of the seeds in there are barely alive. I don't think that we will get any kind of good germinations from them. But I tried to move out the few good seeds that I see in this mess here. I always touch them, and if they feel like there's nothing to them, no substance, then I move on. Hey, welcome to the live stream. Thank you for being here. I appreciate it. Yeah, I'm cleaning cactus seeds here a little now. That's something that I wanted to do on the live stream for a while. But there's always something different that needs to be done, something else. So today maybe we can do it for half an hour, and that would be great. So I have them on a piece of paper here just to go through and see if any of the seeds that have developed are any good. And at this point there aren't any. I don't think so. So yeah. I will bag up these seeds here, maybe 3 or 4. But I currently don't plan to sow them out. We will see. This is a little bit too unhealthy for my taste. Like when I'm deciding what to sow out, all that genetic unhealthiness here would be a big warning sign for me. Okay. So this goes into the trash here. And the few seeds that I collected, I will bag them up. Okay. Good. So these I put on the side. See if I have a fine liner labeled thing, text marker. Question mark. Okay. Because these didn't have any kind of writing on them. Sometimes you have seeds that are where you didn't remember what the father was. Something like that could be. Okay, next one. This also doesn't have a lot of seeds. Echinopsis kermesina hybrid. Echinopsis kermesina, they were previously seen as a pseudolobevia Buckeberg system. Yeah, and they're great for hybrids. I like them. And in this case, this is a pretty good hybrid that I have with Echinopsis kermesina. And this year I got 5 or 6 different fruits from it. But this one doesn't seem to be healthy. I'm not seeing viable seeds. Yeah, this is a waste of time. This goes into the trash. Okay, next one. Here's a big cactus spine in it. Check it out. Life of a cactus breeder is dangerous. Okay, here's another one. I will put them on a piece of paper, and that gives me a little bit more, gives me a chance to move them back and forth and see which ones are viable and which ones aren't. So I just try to clean this up a little and remove everything at all the kind of organic material that's still left that isn't supposed to be there. I usually wait until, I don't know, how long do they ripen? Maybe September, August, September, October, that time. Then I usually take them down. Like I wait until the cactus fruit. Usually I wait until it splits, or I wait until it changes color. Sometimes they turn yellow or red when they are ripe. Depends on the species. But once I take them down, I run that fruit stuff, like the fruit material and pulp, I run that through a fine sieve. And yeah, then I'm left with basically these paper towels of seeds here. Yeah, that's basically my whole process. And usually every year I have a good 500 of those at the very least. It's just I have a lot of different cacti, and yeah, sometimes it's good to have the seeds in case you need them. But I have a lot of backlog here. I really need to, that's why I need to do more seed stuff on the live stream in the future. Because we're almost beginning the new season already. There's not a lot of time left. I could already start watering. Okay. Yeah, so I try to get rid of everything that doesn't look like a viable seed. Sometimes you can really see which, like the seeds are supposed to be round, so they are rolling on to the side. They have a little easier to roll on the side, and eventually you are left with a lot of stuff that you can sort out. Non-seeds. Okay, yeah, and this is the seeds here. Check it out. This is what's left. Maybe 35, 40 seeds, maybe a little bit more, but not all of them will be viable. They look like they could have a reduced viability. Not all seeds are equally viable. And sometimes you can influence that. You can just give them a little more time to let them ripen a little bit longer. But there are just some seeds that are incompatible, that are just where the parents were incompatible and the offspring just wouldn't be healthy. That happens too. Yeah, and this paper towel just said mix. So yeah, thank you very much for nothing. Next year, like this season, I really want to take more care to keep track of everything that we're doing. I don't want to have these situations where I'm not sure what I have in front of me in regards to seeds. It's only funny if you do it once. You will instantly find out why you used to write everything down, you know? Okay, so next one. These are Lobevia. Oops. Belongs to the other one. Okay. Okay. I think these are all different fruit from this Carmesina hybrid that I had there. I recently cleaned a few at once, and they were all without having a tag. So just put them aside. So I would just bag them up in case I might need them later. For now, the flower was great. It was a good hybrid. Yeah, like in the last year, things were a little bit unusual. It's been a rough last couple of years. So last season I was mostly focusing on filming. I was still doing a few pollinations here and there, but it wasn't really my main goal anymore. In the past, I always sold seeds commercially, and it was a great feeling not having to do that for once. To just be able to enjoy the hobby a little bit. That was last year. But yeah, the coming year now, I want to take it a little bit more seriously again. It's at some point it's really good when you look up the parents of a cross instantly, and you don't have to open the video and look for whatever parent you used in that video. I filmed everything, so I could theoretically just go back and have a look at the parents. But yeah, last year that wasn't really my top priority. I had a rough year last year. I was just glad when the year was over and I could move forward into the future again. But I already have, I brought this here. Like, this is for building the tags that we will need this season. And we will build them in one of the next live streams. I want to start putting together little tags that I can wrap around the flower when we're doing the pollination. Every summer, I usually need a good 500 of them. So yeah, maybe we're doing them on the live stream, so we are well prepared. Okay. This goes into the trash. Giving those a second wash. They are still not perfectly clean. Sometimes you just gotta move some aside for a second wash. And they will come under running water. So here's some, this is Hilde Winterer, I think. Very small seeds. I don't think it means that they are unviable, but they are still, they are very small. Not perfect. When I see that, I usually feel, okay, these might have a greatly reduced viability time. They might become unviable pretty fast. The smaller the seed, the more time sensitive it becomes, in my opinion. Some of the small seeds are just, they lose viability fast. And I can't tell you why. It's just something that I've seen in the many species that have smaller seeds. Sometimes they might have a shorter lifespan. Especially stuff like Sörensia bruchi, Sörensia formosa. The smaller the seed, the faster I sow them out. Okay. So now I'll put them on a piece of paper again. Trying to roll the seeds to the side, and hopefully everything that isn't seeds will stay in center. And then I can just brush that away. Gotta keep an eye on for little seeds that you accidentally sorted out that are actually viable. But yeah, this is okay. This at least gives you a little bit of workspace where you can always roll them back and forth and always remove what looks like it's some sort of trash, organic trash, from the fruit, remnants from the fruit that sometimes get into the seeds with cleaning. Like when you're cleaning, the longer you wait, the more material you can get into the seeds, and you might have to clean them a second time if the first cleaning wasn't fully effective. Okay. Yeah, these could be sown out very soon. Okay. Hilde Winterer. They were classified as Cactus eventually. Yeah. Interesting cacti. I like them. Beautiful flowers, but very hard to work with because the body type isn't like a classic cactus. It's more like a hanging basket plant. And you have to keep that in mind when you have them. in my opinion, they are best grown in a hanging basket pot where they can just grow downwards, hanging down in center of the greenhouse. That can be pretty good. Then they look amazing. They have many flowers every year. They flower late into autumn. Really good. Okay. Next one. These are also from that Echinopsis carmesina hybrid. Like I said, I had 5 or 6 different fruits on that one. And the flower was good. I'm not sure what to do with them. It's not that classic kind of hybrid that I would sow out, like where I would want to see offspring from it. But the flower is really good. Okay. Sometimes you have little remnants of the fruit, of the actual fruit. The smaller the fruit, the more often that happens, because the smaller fruits you can just remove the seeds without washing them under running water. It's still better to do it with water, but yeah, with the smaller fruits you can sometimes just take them out of that thing, get rid of that little pulp that's in there. Some of the smaller fruits don't have that much pulp, and that makes it possible for you to just clean them up like I do now. Okay. So this comes into a bag now. Okay. Yeah, so within the next 2 or 3 weeks, the seed stuff probably takes in a larger part of the live stream again. I just realized there are still too many, and I need to get active again. Maybe one day do nothing but cleaning seeds, something like that. Okay, so in this one, check it out. This is quite a lot of seeds. This is maybe 250. Maybe even more. I'm always relieved when I can do a little bit of the seed work. The seed work is the type of stuff that I personally don't like. I hate it. It's fun to have, like when you're sitting there and you're picking seeds to sow out. That is fun. But if you have to clean seeds, really clean them, it's a dirty job. Sometimes the fruit is rotten. Sometimes you have to be careful that that you do it fast. Otherwise, you have that rotting mess in the house. And yeah, it's just a lot of work. You gotta imagine like you have 500 fruits that you have to wash one after the other. It adds up. It gets old very fast. Okay. And very often you don't have, it's not that you have these huge fruits that you could sell. You know, it's not that that sometimes if you were able to put that to market, that would be great. But you actually have seeds, like have fruits where you only have 20, 30, 40 seeds in one fruit, and that makes it hard to kind of do anything with it, because the quantities often are not enough to sell the seeds. And yeah, and you need a lot of space to sow them out. Okay. This is Lobevia. This year I have to sort out a lot of Lobevia. I can't keep them all. I just realized that they need more space than I can give them. I don't know. We will see. This year, every flower that is mediocre, we will have to sort out. There are just too many. Okay. So I will clean this up. There are some big pieces here, big chunks from the fruit. I just take that out. I press on them to see if there maybe is a seed in there. But in most cases, they aren't. I already cleaned these out before. So this is just the remnants that I need to throw away now. In this case, maybe we have 40 seeds. 40 Lobevia seeds, and yeah. That is not something that you can, where you can really put it in a shop and sell them. You would have to split them up in portions of 5 or maybe 10. And at that point, you're really not making a lot of money anymore. What you can do is grow them out. The little Lobevia, if you have a really good one, they are desirable. People love them. And the better the flower, the more valuable it is. But you need a lot of space for that. Space and care. You need to water everything that you have, that you sow out, and that is just endless. Like that is just, at some point you will run out of work power. You just can't do it anymore. You just can't water them all anymore. There's too much work to do. Very difficult industry. That's why I only do it because I enjoy it. You know, this is a hobby. Like I'm doing this for me, like being able to show it on the video. And that's probably the only way that works. Like long term, if you have to really do a lot to just upscale that as a business. Most of the breeders that I know, they do it because they love the hobby. They enjoy being breeders. Hey, Robert. Yeah, I mean, look at eBay. Something like eBay, you find them on eBay all the time. Sometimes with the wrong name. So just look for Lobevia and look up the names that you find. Sometimes in the like there's so many different Lobevia, and people usually, like very often, they have the wrong name. So just look at the plants, try to memorize how Lobevia winteriana looks like, and then try to find it in the marketplace, and you will succeed eventually. If not, you can always grow some from seeds. You get them, I'm sure Succeed, like that Swedish seed company, should have them. I'm sure Cactus has them too, or at least from time to time. And with Cactus, sometimes they have amazing quality. Sometimes it's a little bit older. So I would really ask them, hey guys, I need Lobevia winteriana. Do you have something fresh? That's how I would proceed to try to get that from Cactus, for example. I would really ask them if they have something that's a little bit younger, you know? They have some truly amazing stuff from time to time. Yeah, I'm sure they also call it Echinopsis. They shouldn't, you know, because it doesn't belong into Echinopsis. But yeah, there are many different names, especially for Lobevia. It's just that people in the past were not sure where to put them. So they have moved them around a lot in between Lobevia, Echinopsis, then Zoerensia before that, you know. Lobevia is an interesting genus. Okay, this one here, I don't know what it is. Pseudolobivia. On this day, on the day where I was cleaning these, I was really not in a good place. I'm not sure what I did there, but I was really not focused. There's some days, you know, I just don't, like, usually I'm a professional, but on some days when I'm cleaning seeds, I just don't like that. I just don't like cleaning seeds, and on some days it comes through. I can't tell you what I wrote there. I just can read Pseudolobivia. That's all. Okay, but yeah, there are good seeds here, so we would see. But I'm just glad that I got rid of this. I had this big stack of kitchen paper sitting beside me with the seeds, and I always wanted to do this on the live stream to get them out of the way. But every time I'm in the live stream, like the seedlings just need a lot of time, and so I'm glad that I could get rid of them, because every day when I walked past them, I was almost kicking them through the room. And when you are kicking away a stack of seeds, that's not good. So I'm glad that now at least that can't happen anymore. Okay. We almost have it. Like, it's almost the weekend again. We almost got it. We are almost through again. I'm pretty relieved. Looking forward to the weekend again. Doing the best out of it. Making the best. It's nice weather. This morning we had real frost. So, like, when you're going outside during the day, you would think it's spring. It's springtime. So I've been gardening a lot yesterday, moving little cacti back and forth between the greenhouses. And at this time, you're often inclined to forget how cold it gets over the night. Like this night, I think we had -3 Celsius over the night. And like when I got out this morning, I saw that I had left the window open just a little bit, you know, like these tiny things. Right now, it's a really dangerous time. Got to be a little bit careful that now that I'm preparing for the new season, you can still get frost. Right now, we will get a few more really cold weeks. Usually around maybe, I don't know, April, mid-April, we usually have that final cold phase. It has a name in Germany. They call it the Eisheiligen. They call it Eisheiligen, meaning the ice saints, something like that. That's what they call that time in spring, where you can still get that surprising frost. I mean, it happens on a regular basis, and the people that, like the farmers and everyone who does it for a business knows that this happens. But it's still kind of surprising when you see that kind of sunny, like we had a week. It really looks like early summer. So yeah, dangerous time now for cactus seedlings that are left outside. Okay, so I will bag these, and I think then this is it for today. I did good today. I'm pretty happy. Kind of got a little bit of done, like a little bit of backlog out of the way, and that is great. A blackberry winter. I haven't heard that before. I didn't know that, but I believe it. I've been, like, in the last month, over winter, I've been cutting back the blackberries. They are such a horrible kind of weed. I've been growing cacti so long, and usually in my garden, when I get injured, like when I catch real spines, it's usually blackberries or Robinia pseudoacacia. One of these two are usually responsible for the real injuries that I have on the hands, and just handling these big trees like that. They grow so fast. They grow so fast, like the robinia trees grow so fast, and the blackberries also. It is really hard to clear big areas from them, and I hate it. Okay. All right, guys. I think this is the end of the live stream. Had a lot of fun again today. Thank you for having been here. I greatly appreciate it. Always, you know, even when I don't say it every day, I really appreciate the people that are here, that have seen this thing grow in the beginning. And I will make sure that when we're going into the summer, this will be great. We will live stream from outside very soon. And until then, we're doing a little bit more sowing out, seed stuff, but then the actual work begins. So yeah, in summer, the live stream will be different. Will be at the same time, roughly, but different. So yeah, was great to have you here all the time. I will be back tomorrow, same time. And yeah, thank you guys. I hope the day goes over very soon, that we can start the weekend early. Okay, guys, thank you. Have a nice day, everyone. Until tomorrow or whenever we see each other again. Thank you for having been here.